Hey everyone. So once again, a very interesting question in front of us. And the reason behind discussing this question is because uh, after looking at this question and without doing any analysis, it might seem very obvious. The answer might seem very obvious, and some of you may even end up thinking that the answer could be, say, C, because there are two variables, two equations. But however, on doing the proper analysis, you'll realize that the answer is not as obvious as possible. So I'm going to talk about a lot of things here. Once again, the importance of pre-analysis, and then also I'll touch upon what is a yes/no type of question and how do you approach that kind of a question. Okay, so let's get started. In this question, it is given that x and y are non-zero integers. So what I prefer doing is I always write down each and every information properly. It might seem very trivial and it might even take 10 seconds more, but it's best to write down whatever information that is given. So if it's given that x and y are non-zero integers, it is very important to write down what kind of numbers can x and y be. So there's one place where you might end up making a mistake if you don't read carefully. A lot of students think that if it is given that x and y are non-zero integers, then that means x and y are positive. Now, if any of you made that inference, you made the wrong one. Okay, non-zero means that x and y cannot be zero. Okay, but apart from that, they can take any values. Okay, and since they are integers, that means x and y can take values such as 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. And it can also take values such as -1, -2, -3, and so on and so forth, right? So x and y can be positive or negative integer, but they cannot be zero. And if you think that you'll end up forgetting it, just write it down somewhere on the piece of paper, so that you don't put this value or substitute this value in the equation. Okay, so far so good. Now what next? It's given that if x and y are non-zero integers, is x by 20 plus y by 40 equal to 50. So here's the word is written here. What does this is signify here? So this is basically the question asking us, is this expression, is the left hand side, whatever you have here, equal to the right hand side or not? Okay, and whenever you have a question like this, is x plus by something plus y by something is equal to 50, or if you have a question like, say, if is x odd, is x plus y 10, if you get questions like this, basically they're asking you to answer in terms of yes or no. Okay, so this is a yes/no type of question where you need to answer either yes or either no. But keep in mind, as long as you can answer yes or no, that means you're getting an answer. Okay, only in a situation when you are not able to say conclusively whether x by 20 plus y by 40 is equal to 50 or not, then only in this case you'll end up marking the answer as E. Okay, so keep this in mind. A lot of people make this mistake. What they think is, if this is given x by 20 plus y by 40 is equal to 50, they assume this to be true. Okay, don't do that. That's not the right approach. Okay, some of them assume this to be true and then try to nullify it, but that is not a correct approach. Okay, just simply understand that if you are given this x by 20 plus y by 40 is equal to 50, your job is to just figure out whether it can be 2000 or it cannot be 2000 or not. As long as you can figure out, that is enough for you to give the answer. Okay, now let's simplify this expression a bit. Now if I take the LCM, I'll get 40 here. 2x plus y is equal to 50, which implies 2x plus y is equal to 2000. So in short, you need to figure out whether 2x plus y equal to 2000 or not. Okay, now here, if you some of you might make the mistake of marking the answer as C, as I told in the starting. The reason why you might do so without doing an analysis is because you may think, hey, there's an x here, there's a y here. Okay, so and I need to there are two variables, so I need two values, and there are two equations given out here. Both of them look distinct, so the answer should be C. Now those of you who did that, you made a mistake. Okay, never ever make such assumptions without doing an analysis. Okay, keep this in mind. We'll always look at each and every statement and then take a call whether we can get the answer individually or by combining. Now let's look at the first statement. The first statement is x minus 2y is equal to 1000. Okay, now this might seem like a trivial equation and it might seem that you might not get the answer, but keep in mind, what do we need to prove? We need to prove whether this portion is equal to the 2000 or not. So the idea should be to write the left hand side in this form, exactly in this form, and see what are you getting on the right hand side. Okay, Now see, you have a 2x here. So the best way, the one thing that you should do is multiply by 2. So you'll get 2x minus 4y is equal to 2000, right? Let me write it 2000. And you need 2x plus y. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's take the y that side and write it like this. Okay, 4y, and add y both sides. Now see, you have 2x plus y exactly the way you want here. Okay, now look at the right hand side. You need to prove whether it is, you need to figure out whether it is equal to 2000 or not. And you have 2000 plus 5y. Now this is where this portion will come into picture, this in analysis. Now, when will 2x plus y be equal to 2000? It will be equal to 2000 when y is equal to 0, right? But can x or y be 0? They cannot be 0, right? This means that the value of 2x plus y can never be 2000. It can never be 2000. Keep this in mind, because you can do minor analysis also. You can think in this way. If 2x plus y is, think if y is greater than 0, if y is a positive number, then if you put a positive value here, then 2x plus y will be greater than 2000. Okay, and if y is less than 0, for example, if y is negative, okay, then in that case 2x plus y will be less than 2000, but will never be equal to 2000. And since the question is a yes no type of question, it's asking you whether it is equal to 2000, you will say no, it is not equal to 2000, and so you are being able to answer the question conclusively that no, it is not. That means statement 1 is sufficient. Okay, and since statement 1 is sufficient, your answer can never be B, your answer can never be C, your answer can never be E. Your answer has to be either A or D, if the second statement also turns out to be true. Okay, now let's take the second statement and we'll do similar analysis here. See, you have 2x minus y is equal to 2300. Okay, now you need 2x plus y. So what you can do is take it this side. Okay, you need 2x plus y. So multiply, so add y here. You'll get this. Okay, now think about it. Y can be positive or y can be negative, both. If y is greater than 0, then in that case 2x plus y will be greater than 2300. So it will be greater than 2000. It won't be 2000. Okay, but what if y is less than 0? If y is less than 0, then there is a scenario, right? If you subtract something, you may reach 2000, right? For example, if y turns out to be minus 150, then in that case 2x plus y will become 2000, right? So in this case, you cannot conclusively say whether it is equal to 2000 or not. It can be 2000, it cannot be 2000. And since you are not able to conclusively say yes or no, that is why statement 2 is not sufficient, and hence your answer in this case will be option A. So I hope this is perfectly clear how you need to solve this question. Some of you may end up marking D, and the reason behind marking D is that you may infer that by non-zero it means only positive. If you think in this way, then some of you may even think, hey, you may consider only this case, and you may end up considering only this case, these two cases, and think that the answer is D. And that is the reason why I want to emphasize that whatever information is given, small or whatever information, it might seem trivial, it's best to write it down. Okay, so I hope it's perfectly clear how to solve such kind of questions. Whenever you're asked something, is something equal to this, try and express that express it in the same way, and then try to make pertinent inferences. Okay.